Hello everybody. Today is probably the first time I've been in a pretty good mood after leaving the oncologist's office. My treatment last week was canceled because the prior one I had a pretty bad reaction to. When I was done with the treatment, they took the IV out, and the nurse had asked me a question, and I think I talked about this in the last post, but I couldn't talk. But the reason I couldn't talk was because I couldn't breathe. I was having a anaphylactic reaction to the medication from the infusion, and they came over and they jabbed me with an EpiPen and shoved another IV in me and started running fluids and checking my vitals and all kinds of craziness. They made me call to get a ride. They were going to let me drive after that. So it was scary. It was definitely very scary. All the side effects seemed like they were lasting longer and were worse with that round as well. And same with the pill, the Xylota pill that I'm taking. So when I went to my appointment last week, my regular doctor, Dr. Lash, was off that day, I believe. So yeah, he was off that day. So they had me see a different doctor, and he decided it was best to hold the medication for the week, both the infusion and the pill. The oxaliplatin is the infusion, Xylota's the pill. So that was kind of a relief, to get a little bit of a break from feeling like garbage. So they had me follow up with my doctor, with Dr. Lash, today. And he said basically that if I had one reaction like that, he doesn't want to give me the infusion anymore because I'll just have other reactions. I'll just continue to have the anaphylactic reaction to it. So no more infusions. Yay. Because they suck. They really do. 2 hours sitting in a chair, getting fluids pumped in that just burn the hell out of your veins and just cause all kinds of wacky side effects. I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. So the plan going forward is I'm going to continue to take the Xylota. I do have side effects from that, but they're not nearly as bad as from the oxaliplatin. That's the one. The oxaliplatin is the one where I can't have anything cold, touch anything cold, eat or drink anything cold, which really sucks when it's 70, 80 degrees out to not be able to have a cold drink. He's also going to have me get a PET scan. I did have a CT scan scheduled for a few weeks from now, but he wants to get this PET scan done like ASAP, and he's hoping to push for immunotherapy, which would be Keytruda, which you've probably seen lots of commercials for that. And he's going to try to really hammer that with the, I guess, I don't know who will discuss it with the tumor board or whoever, my insurance, whatever. But he said he wants to try to avoid another huge surgery where I'll end up coming out with another ostomy. And it makes me pretty happy that he wants, God, I feel like I'm going to cry now because I'm just really happy that that's the plan, to not do that. I mean, that doesn't guarantee that it won't happen, but he's going to push to try some other things before a major surgery has to be done. Wow, I didn't think I'd get this emotional about it. So, anyway, I also had some other crazy stuff happen last week. Friday night, sitting on the couch, and it's going to get a little graphic, a little gross for you guys, but as a female, when you have your period, you can kind of feel the blood sometimes. If there's a good amount, you can feel it kind of gush out, if that makes sense. And, you know, I've been bleeding since November from this tumor. So, I constantly have a pad on 24/7. So that Friday night, I'm sitting and I could just feel this like gushing and gushing and gushing. And I was like, I didn't really think too much of it because there's usually not a whole lot that comes out, especially when I haven't had a treatment. No, actually it's usually at the end of the cycle that there's even less bleeding. So I noticed that I had kind of leaked a little bit, and I went up to the bathroom to get myself cleaned up, and the pad that I had on was just drenched with blood. And it's never that much. It's never more than, I don't even know how to describe it, but like a light period would be. But this was soaked with blood. So I got some wipes out. I started kind of cleaning myself up, and a big chunk of something came out. It's pretty gross. I was saying it was tissue. I don't know what it was, but it was a big globby mass, measured about 2 centimeters in diameter. It didn't come out in a ball, but I had kind of, like, it came out, it's hard to describe it. It came out sort of long and thick, and I kind of squished it into a ball to get the measurements on it. I know that sounds really gross and weird, but you know, when you work in healthcare, gross stuff stops bothering you pretty quick, especially when it's your own gross stuff. So I called the on-call doctor, and he was very nice. He really was like reviewing my history and looking at everything and asking me questions. And by the time I was done talking to him, and he called back really quick. I called, you know, whoever it is, the messaging people that get a hold of, the paging people that get a hold of the doctors, family call doctors. He called me back in like 10 minutes. It was really quick. This was around 11 o'clock at night. So I explained, you know, what had happened, and you know how the previous bleeding had been, and how this was really unusual and kind of shocking, especially with that big piece of tissue coming out. So he had said, like, as long as the bleeding was slowed down and I felt okay, he didn't really think I needed to go to the ER, but if I would feel more comfortable going and getting it checked out, that would be, you know, completely understandable. So I did feel fine. The bleeding slowed down. I, you know, monitored it over the next couple of days, and it was still heavier than usual, but not as bad as that one incident Friday night. So, Dr. Lash had asked about it. Oh, that was kind of gross. My lips stuck together. Dr. Lash had asked about it in my appointment today, and he said, you know, he no idea what it could have been, but he said it could be that the tumor dehisced and just a piece of it just fell out. No clue, no idea. Definitely glad that is all over and done with too, because that was startling to say the least. So I've got paperwork coming for short-term disability. I have paperwork being done to put my student loans on hold for a bit, and then, you know, hopefully the PET scan looks good and looks like there's improvement, and the pills continue to work, the Zolota, and we can do the immunotherapy and avoid this monster surgery and having me eat both pee and poo out of my belly, because peeing's enough. I don't want any more parts taken out of me if I can avoid it. So that's it. I'll do another update after the PET scan, and we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to take advantage of this beautiful weather and sit out on the deck and try to enjoy myself with the good news that I got. All right, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the weather, and we'll talk soon.